Hello guys, welcome back to our channel Tech Skill Builder. In this session we are going to learn another most important component, flat list. So why should we use this flat list and in which scenario? So flat list we can use when there is a large number of list of scrollable data. Earlier in previous sessions we have seen scroll view. That is also the scrollable data, means that is also used for the scrollable data. If suppose data is more than your actual screen of the device, then you can go for the scroll view. But why should we use the flat list? Is like scroll view you can use for the small amount of data, and flat list you can use for the large number of scrollable data. And if suppose you are retrieving some data from the APIs, in such case you can use the flat list. So flat list renders, another advantage of the flat list is like flat list renders the atom that are currently visible on the screen. So there are some features of the flat list. You can say like it's a virtualized rendering, only render what is visible on the screen. It provides lazy loading, loads atom as you scroll. And there are some built-in attributes are there that we will see in the example. For example, headers, footer, atom separator, pull to refresh, and it's highly customizable than scroll view and other components that you can style and structure the each atom whatever way or whatever the design you have provided. According to that you can use that. So what are the uses? So it's displaying the list of atoms. For example, you can take in our phone contact. So there is a lots of contact list will be there. Chat, in chat lots of chat messages will be there. Product listing, some articles. Okay. So infinite scrolling will be there. Paginated data. If suppose something, if there are large number of data, you can do the pagination as well. At a time you can load some 10 atoms and scroll and again make the API for the another page. So this flat list you can also use for the horizontal way. If suppose you are showing some offers, if suppose you have seen many applications there is a offers in horizontal way, so that attribute is also available in flat list. So we'll see in the example. So we will create flat list demo.js. Okay, import React from React, and then we can import this flat list from React Native. Okay, so we need flat list, we can also need view, we can need text. Okay, the constant flat list demo. Okay, and then export default flat list demo. Okay, and here we will render our view. Okay, so we will take directly flat list. Okay, so what are the attributes of the flat list now that we'll see? The first attribute is like data. So what is a data? It's a sets of atoms or sets of array of objects that we can provide. For example, flat list data is a array of objects. So here one object you can call like id and id should be 1. Then atom name should be okay, apple. Okay, so we will create another object. Okay, id and apple banana. Okay, what is this? And we can take another object. Okay, apple banana grapes. Okay, so now our data is flatlist data is ready, hard coded data is ready, and then we'll pass this flatlist data to data. So whatever the data we will provide to the data of flatlist attribute, it will load on the your screen. Let's try to run. Okay, so earlier screen is there. We need to update this component in index.js. So just right here and just try to, I think directly we can import. No, so import flatlist demo from src/flatlist demo. Okay, encounter 2 childrens with the same. So in our case we have said like id are the same, so id should be unique. So 3 and 4, let's see now. Okay, it's not displaying because there is another attribute is a render atom. Okay, what render atom will do is it will render each atom of the list to your flat list. Okay, that is the use of your render atom, that functions that return the component of each atom. So here we can say render or load flat list atom. Okay, so we need to create this function. Okay, and we'll pass the object, because what each atom having flat list data, the array of objects. So this object we need to pass here. Let's say this is a atom, and I think we need to written like this. Okay, see here you can pass like view. Okay, inside view you can have the text where you can show the atom name. So atom dot atom name. Okay, let's save and see. Yes, your list of the data flat list is already rendered. Now we can go for the designing and all. So we will see another attribute, important attribute of the flat list is key extractor. So what is the key extractor? Is the function to extract a unique key for each atom. So usually it will take atom dot id, so that's the reason I have taken id here. So how it will work, like, okay, so here we can pass atom and then atom dot id. So in earlier we have seen, like, if suppose id was same, so it was giving the error. For example, see here, encounter 2 children with the same key, because in this object also id is 1 and this object id is 1, so id should be unique. So we have changed to 4. Now there is no error. So let's style up little bit. Style margin top is equal to 55. Okay, so this is sufficient now. So we have seen the key extractor, render atom, and the data. So data is to retrieve all the atoms. The data is like that we want to show on the list. Okay, so let's little bit style this component, I mean atom of the flat list. Like what you can say, padding is 15 pixel, good, and then okay, this is fine. And we will also load image, so we'll add image also here. Atom image. So you can customize. The benefit of the flat list is that only you can customize the way you want. So here we will pass our the path of the image, local image. We are going to load image from local. So assets, and then what is the text skill builder.png. Okay, take skill builder.png. okay, the same thing we will copy here. Okay, sorry. Here, so let's try to load the image as we have seen earlier how to load image from the local. So source, okay, why it is not coming? Oh, you should import image from the React Native only image. Okay, so source, what happened? Source, and here we need to give require, and then we need to pass the atom image. Let's see once how it is. What it's saying, flat list is invalid, call for your require call atom. Okay, so let's see. Okay, okay, for now we will give direct path, later we'll see. So this is the path of the image. Okay, so image is already loaded and it's below the atom. So what if suppose our requirement is like the row, the atom of the flat list should contain first image and then the text. For example, product image is first and product name is after that. So what to do? So currently this view is giving as a flex direction column. So we want to change the flex direction to row. So this flex box and all these things we will have the separate session and separate video for this. That time we will see. See, now your flex direction row, and we'll say align atoms of this view should be in center. Okay, so now both the component, this text and the image is coming in center, but we want this image should be coming first, then we'll replace to this. First we'll take the image and then text. So now it's reflect like the logo and then product image and the product name. Okay, so what is the issue, why it's not? Okay, let's do like this and it will reflect the name. What happened? Atom. Okay, so now apple, banana, grapes and all we got. Okay, so let's style up something to image. So let's say it's a width is 100, height is 100. Okay, and let's style up something to text. We'll say font size is 18 pixel, and then font weight we can say it's 600 for to show the bold. Okay, also you can give some margin start is 10 pixel. Okay, so now your list of this data 4 atoms we have rendered by using flat list. So we'll see another attribute of the flat list is that because here we don't have any separation between the atoms. Okay, so we have atom separator component which render between two atoms. Okay, it's like divider of in between two atoms of the flat list. So atom separator component. So here what you can do is like directly you can have view and just close this view and then style it. What style you want? Line only, right? So for that you can have height is 1 pixel and then background color of this view. Okay, so we'll take background color as orange. So now this atom separator component will give one orange color line. Okay, you got, and the height of that is 1. So for now we'll take 2, so it will look like this. Okay, this is the line separator for the atoms. Okay, so in many places we have seen like the offers they will show on the application in the horizontal way. So you can use the flat list for that, and you can say another attribute for this flat list is horizontal, and you can say it's true. Okay, then your list will be horizontally scrolling. Okay, so for now in our case it's a false. So what is the use of horizontal? To show the horizontal list, flat list. Okay, so this is the thing. Another if suppose as we said, like flat lists we can use to load the data which is coming from the server, and suppose there is no data uh, in our server for that particular API call, then what will show? So list empty component is also there. So here you can say empty component text, and this is a text. Okay, here you can say no data found on the server. Okay, so how it will show here? If suppose you will empty this list, means there is no data from the server, then it will show whatever. Control Z. Okay, so now see there is no data found on the server. So let's style up this. We'll say like font size is maybe 20 and align cell center will show this is in center, and then font, sorry, font weight. We will show this is in bold. For that we will use the 600. Okay, so this is the list empty component which is used when there is no data in the flat list data, whatever we are providing data to the flat list. If it is empty or 0 atoms, then this list empty component will call and it will show like there is no data. Whatever the message will pass here, that will display on the screen. Okay, so for now we have taken the 4 atoms, but if for that we are not able to see other part of the the flat list. So what we'll do is we'll dynamically render the data. We'll create some chunk of data, large data. So flat list dynamic data. Okay, so what it will do is we'll create the array dot from. Okay, so here we can give length, so we can pass the length like 15 atoms, and then okay, so it will create another thing like okay, and then okay, in that we will specify the object. So first is the id, that how we can retrieve is okay, id, and then atom name. So here how we'll do is atom name space, and then we can say here I plus 1, so it will do in loop and I plus 1. Also we can have atom image. Okay, here we can give this atom image. Let's do okay, let's try to use this here and see how the flat list will look like. What happened, id does not exit. Okay, this is your id does not exit atom.id. okay, atom.id okay, id is this, atom name I, and atom image is this one. So atom, here we have passed id, here id should not be there, right? It should be I. Okay, so now your flat list is rendered. Now you can observe like another attribute of this is vertical scroll view. Suppose you don't want to display this vertical scroll view indicator, then you can say it's false, don't show this. Okay, so now if suppose you will scroll also, you will not able to see that scroll view indicator. So but in our case we will say true, so that it will display the flat list vertical indicator. Okay, so these are the few important attributes of the flat list. We also look into some other attribute that is called as on refresh. So on refresh, on refresh, so what it will do is on refresh data. Okay, so for that we need to create one method here. On refresh, what we have to achieve, that things we can do here. Okay, and there is another attribute we need to write, is refreshing, to show the loading. Okay, let's take refreshing. Okay, so we need to declare this variable, state variable. So we'll see what is the state variable and all later in later. Refreshing, set refreshing. Okay, so this is use state, and that is false for now. Okay, so when this refreshing will do is, once this method call, that time we can say set refreshing true. Okay, sorry, what happened? Yeah, so let's try to do, see, refreshing true. Okay, so whenever we'll scroll from on refresh, method will get call. Okay, and then you can make the API call here. And this is continuously rotating in a right, so we need to just, for now we can write set timeout. Okay, and then here we'll give the some time 2 seconds. Okay, and here we will say set refreshing false. Okay, in actual case, whenever the data will retrieve from the server, that time you can say refreshing false, but for in our case we'll say like, okay, so it's not getting saved. So on refresh, set refreshing true, and after 2 seconds it will say set refreshing false. Let's try to run once again. Okay, so let's try now. Swipe to refresh. After 2 seconds it will be disappear. See, it was disappear. So we have seen some few attributes of the flat list component, and we have seen the customization possible in flat list atom that was not possible in the earlier component. So the difference between scroll view and the flat list, we can say the scroll view can be used for the small amount of data and no more customizable in case of the scroll view. But in case of the flat list, you can go for a large number of data and dynamic data when we are loading. And if suppose you need more customizable, then you can go for the flat list. You can use flat list in case of horizontal view of list of atoms we want to show in horizontally, like we will show the offers on the different applications. So that time you can do horizontal true, and we have seen the output how it will look like. Okay, and there is another like on refresh method. If suppose you want to refresh the product list that is updated on the server, then you can call this on refresh and you can make the API call here to get the updated data. Okay, and if suppose there is no data in the whatever the data we are getting from server, then you can just show this list empty component and specify, design your that particular component here in list empty component. And if so, and another attribute is like atom separator component that you can show like this line, okay, and you can also design accordingly. So these are few important attributes we have seen of the flat list and use cases of the flat list. There is another way to load data uh, and we can display in a list wise by using the array method map, and we can render this particular atom by using the map function, okay, but that is again not recommended for the large number of data if it is there. So we have seen the use cases of this flat list, right? If suppose you want to show the list of product with images, name and different prices, and want to load more items or product when the user scroll to the bottom, and you can add header with the search bar and footer with the loading spinner and all. So all these facilities, all these attributes available in your flat list, okay. So another reason why we should go for flat list instead of the scroll view, it's a performance, okay. So flat list will give the efficient, it is mainly designed for the large number of list, okay, and for in case of the scroll view it's render all the atom at once, but in case of the flat list it will render only the atom which is display on the current layout, okay. Lazy loading is possible in flat list, but it's not possible in the scroll view. There are built-in props that we have seen like this atom separator component, list empty component, on refresh, okay, footer, header. So these are the inbuilt component in case of the flat list, but that is not available in scroll view, that we need to implement manually, okay. And flat list is ideal for the dynamic or long list, and in case of the scroll view we can use for the small and the static content. So we have seen the differences and their use cases for the flat list. I hope now you got where to use the scroll view and where to use the flat list. I hope you like this video. Please do subscribe, share and like this video. Thank you.